Anybody know me? I am not Amit Yoran. I got a phone call at 10 o'clock this morning that he wasn't going to make it, and so he asked me to do a presentation for him. I'm also not going to do his presentation. So I'm Adam Myers, and I'm with SRA International. And this presentation is going to be on cyber intelligence and how to implement cyber intelligence in an organization. I'll explain a little bit about why I'm even talking about that to you in a minute. But first, a couple of things to go into this thinking. Security is compromised every day on your enterprise, whether it be somebody using a poor password, somebody clicking yes for some rogue antivirus scan, somebody clicking on anything that they shouldn't click on, whether it be a spear-phished email or just inappropriate site. Security compromises are happening and consistently, probably by the hour or by the minute. Cyber intelligence, or CISOs, anybody who's got experience in the DoD or the intelligence community, they'll always see things like HUMINT for human intelligence. So I've kind of coined CISOs, is a component of organizational situational awareness, which you may not think about when you implement something or just in general when you operate day to day, but you have some organizational situational awareness. Physical security and physical threat intelligence, you know if somebody's lurking outside your facility. You know if there's been a car parked across the street for 3 days. These are all intelligence that feed your physical security plant, which helps better secure your physical plants. You have cybersecurity controls as well. You have firewalls and hopefully and routers and access control lists and things of these nature to protect your cyber environment, but you are missing that physical threat intelligence correlation of cyber intelligence. So hopefully you're going to walk away and see some importance in cyber intelligence. Cyber threat intelligence is generally not present in a lot of organizations, but you do have a lot of things that can contribute to that. You have things like antivirus signatures. These signatures, however, are, unless you have, I'll bash on it a little bit, McAfee, anybody run that update? No? So you have antivirus signatures, but they focus on every known threat that could possibly be out there. But what would help would be to be able to kind of focus in on what threats are impacting your organization and environment. So you could get a little bit more granular in your securing of your network. I always like to throw goals into my presentations. It's kind of like my contract with the audience so that you can give me a poor review or give Amit a poor review. So some of the goals here are to, I'm going to enumerate the problems facing an organization from cyber threat. I'm going to state the problem. Some of this will probably be old news to most of you, but I'll give you at least my perspective. I'm going to talk about the components of a cyber intelligence team. How do you build a cyber intelligence team, and why would you want to do that? I'm going to not talk about any specific product too much. I'm going to talk about as many products as I can fit into this time slot. I'm going to give you some really cheap products, I'm going to give you some free products, and I'm going to give you some things that might also be on your network. There might be an obligatory SRA pitch in there someplace. I don't remember. And I'm going to discuss information sharing. I'm also going to discuss integrating the cybersecurity component into your organization, your existing SOC or CERT team or whatever, and hopefully there'll be some fun. So as a consultant in the federal space, I'm often asked, who are you and what are you doing here? So quick little spiel about me, since I'm not Amit Yoran, the famous Amit Yoran. I'm with SRA International. We provide services to the federal government. We're about 7,200 employees and $1.54 billion. We're kind of big for that space. And we do a lot of work with all the three-letter agencies and various, civil, health, and we have a bunch of nerdy guys that do some really smart stuff as well. Myself, I'm a security consultant, penetration test team. I started it at SRA. Forensics technician, I started forensics practice as well. Security architect, I do security architect review work. And currently I am stationed at the Department of State Bureau of Diplomatic Security, where I run their reverse code analysis team. All right, moving on. Disclaimer, standard corporate disclaimer. I'm just kidding. I think the Pledge of Allegiance is there, and there's some physics laws and maybe something from a Microsoft EULA. One disclaimer that I'll actually say, this is the first time I've ever given a presentation not wearing a suit, so it feels kind of funny, like climbing the rope in gym class. All right, so let's talk about the components of cyber intelligence. What makes up cyber intelligence? What is a cyber intelligence capability, as the slide says? So cyber intelligence capability allows an organization to understand the cyber threat environment and the relevant danger to an organization's resources. So all of the things that are out there that can affect an organization trying to do harm. It's a lot like physical intelligence. The use of cyber intelligence will allow an organization to make risk-based decisions. So you can make decisions about maybe markets to go into, where you want to use a hosting provider, what platform and architecture to choose for a situation. So this is the corporate communications troll.
We're supposed to use for presentations. Hopefully it doesn't take you too long to switch those out, but again, I have to be persistent in that we use the right corporate term.
So, oops. It was the wrong...
We're supposed to use for...
It started in the middle of the soundbite, but it starts off with her saying, "I'm sorry that you don't want to use the corporate slide deck. I know you don't like it." That was kind of my segue into, you may not like this either, and also my opportunity to burn the corporate troll that made me change my slide deck, because I had a really cool slide deck with like Russian letters and matrixy looking stuff. So that was a fail. Do you need one? Well, any organization with internet connectivity is going to be at risk. So I would say yes, you do need it. There's myriad threat sources out there that can affect your organization, and you're going to need to be able to identify and kind of track what is relevant to your organization, because there are financially motivated cyber criminals out there. So a bank, I was talking to somebody earlier who's here from a financial institution. Untargeted internet spreading worms or McAfee updates. There's anybody from McAfee here? Because I bashed Adobe yesterday pretty bad, and 2 people from Adobe showed up and talked to me afterwards. So there's internal threats, so insider threat that can affect the network. So if you have something sensitive or trade secrets, these are people that might be trying to get at that. Nation states, if you're at risk of nation state targeting. Cyber hacktivists that might be looking to bash an organization for whatever practices or involvement or things that they might be doing. Business competitors, this is also a threat. It's real. People do target other businesses to get trade secrets or to impact their ability to do business. And lastly, and most importantly, bored teenagers. So I ask again, do you need a cyber intelligence capability? Well, the threat's not going away. And let me introduce you to the threat. This is the face of the threat right here. This is Giancarlo Benitez, who he was trying to steal passwords, and he sent some malware into a certain U.S. government agency and left his name in it. So I always put his slide up. I promised my team I'd put his picture on every presentation I do, because we couldn't arrest him. He was like 18 and in Peru, so nobody wanted to go to Peru on that boondoggle. So I just put his picture up everywhere, and I do that because he'll probably come back. He's going to figure out that his malware didn't work, and he's going to rewrite it and maybe take his name out of it. So some of the problems that are faced, I like to call this the buzzword threat vector. Things like Web 2.0 and social networking. In fact, I was just saying yesterday that I was really happy that I came to a security conference and didn't hear Web 2.0, and then I'm the guy that just said it. So, again, another fail. So Web 2.0, social networking, these are things that are now quickly becoming mission critical to business. For example, State Department, things like Facebook and Twitter are now how we're trying to do diplomacy. So having these types of things are going to be pretty important to help do that. But it's a threat vector. There's issues with these things. There's business threat vectors. So every day you conduct business doing email and links and things of that nature, viewing websites. There's drive-by malware. So in the course of doing business, you can run into either a malicious email attachment, a malicious link, or drive-by malware, and that's a threat vector. And then I like to call this the lunch hour threat vectors. Things you're only supposed to do theoretically during lunch.